All right, Bulls and Bears. Hey, Jason here. It's January 5th. It's Wednesday. Elon Musk is predicting a financial crisis slash recession before 2022 is over. Now, we've seen a big string of a lot of people that are inside the corporate world, the business world, a lot of higher up CEOs, etc., predicting, warning things are looking pretty bad as far as the economy goes. But at the same time, they're selling stocks. For example, Elon Musk sold a lot of stocks. So that together, the combination of him telling us this, Elon Musk telling us there's going to be a recession slash financial crisis, and him selling his stock, that should be something we should put together and try to look more into it. So let's go ahead and get into this story. And we've got some other financial news to get into here in a bit. Recent article, Elon Musk predicting global financial crisis later this year, 2022. This is a recent article. Now, this prediction came out in a tweet, and he responded to this tweet that said, "When do you think the next recession will be?" Elon Musk replied, "Predicting macroeconomics is challenging, to say the least. My gut feel is maybe around spring, summer 2022, but not later than 2023. Now, does Elon Musk mean not later than the beginning of 2023, which would be January 1st? The way I'm reading it is that he means not later than when 2023 gets here, meaning January 1st. So before the end of 2022. Of course, he says that's his gut feeling, but combine that with the fact that he's been selling massive amounts of stock. Also factor in just our economic situation with all the debt levels, and now the Fed saying they're going to change course and stop buying securities. They're supposed to, according to what they say, they're supposed to stop buying securities. It's supposed to come to an end completely in March of this year. So maybe that's why Elon Musk is saying spring, summer of this year. Maybe he knows something, or maybe he just believes what the Fed is out there saying, that they're going to taper and stop all asset purchases before March of this year. But here's the thing to be aware of. A lot of people high up in the financial world, in the business world, have been predicting these types of things for many years. But factor in everything that we talked about here, what the Fed is saying, all right, all the programs that are now expiring. Well, there's a few that aren't expiring. Student loan debt cancellation is still being extended. The just the overvaluation of the markets right now, way beyond what we saw in the financial crisis. So just from a logical standpoint, you would think that we could see a recession slash financial crisis anytime. Of course, there's a lot that could still be done to prop these markets up. For example, if the housing market slowed down, they could come out and say, okay, everyone that buys a home, first-time home buyers, they get a $30,000 credit. Just add it to the debt. Just add it to the tab. I know that sounds crazy to some people, but look at everything else that's happened. They even had an incentive back after the financial crisis here in California. It was a $10,000 credit for first-time home buyers. So is it that crazy to think that they might double or triple what they already did back about 10 years ago? No, I don't think it's crazy at all. I think they could pull a rabbit out of the hat. Who knows what they could come up with? No one predicted 3 or 4 years ago that we would see nationwide rent moratoriums. But what do we see in 2020? And there's even some areas that still have the rent moratoriums in place. So we still haven't completely weaned this economy off of this artificial rescue and these stimulus programs. And speaking of overvalued markets, even Tesla stock is very overvalued. Now, as far as predictions go, I try to not to make predictions because it's hard to predict a manipulated economy, right? If I was working for the manipulators, then of course I could tell you an exact date when it's going to happen. But all the quote-unquote experts have been wrong for years, and I predicted the bubbles will continue to get bigger. So I guess if you want to say predictions, of course, we've been right about that one. The bubbles are getting bigger. Prices are rising. The cost of living is rising. Most people are getting into more debt. You know, those are just basic, simple, fundamental things that pretty much anyone that even pays half attention can tell you that's happening. Of course, it is happening, but we could say it's going to continue to happen unless, again, the wild card is the Fed and how they're going to taper, if they're going to taper. We'll find out here very, very soon. They have been tapering. They've been winding down their purchases, is what they're telling us. But the big question is, are they going to taper like they've been telling us? Are they going to completely stop buying securities by the end of March of this year? Let's transition a little bit to another story here. This one came out of Barron's recently. And here's another one that we basically said was going to be the situation. The great supply chain crisis looks like it will be 2022 story as well. So yes, even mainstream news sources are telling us that things are looking to continue to get worse. And a lot of the problems that we saw in the last couple years, not many signs of those getting better or being fixed. And just recently, both Samsung and Micron Technology issued warnings about the supply chain and what's happening over in China with the tremendous lockdowns over there. And that's going to cause disruptions in manufacturing. And of course, what do we have here in America? We're mostly an import economy where we have to import most of what we purchase. We're also a consumer-based economy. And that's something else that I like to remind everyone from time to time. When people say there's going to be a recession, technically all they have to do is send out enough stimulus checks and you can avoid a recession on paper, because the GDP is what's looked at as far as defining a recession. And if enough people get stimulus checks and could go out and spend money that they actually didn't earn, then that could avoid a GDP drop, which it would have to drop for 2 consecutive quarters to be defined as a recession. So a recession can just be papered over literally by printing money, not actually money, just fiat digits, and sending out stimulus checks. So you can avoid a recession. Look what happened in 2020. Technically, there was not 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, so there wasn't a recession, even though it was a worse event that we saw since the Great Depression. So that should show you just how manipulated everything is. But shouldn't the fact that we have to send out stimulus checks, like we saw in 2020, which we might have to do again if they want to paper over the next recession, shouldn't the fact that people rely on these sort of payouts, shouldn't that alone by itself be an indicator that the economy is not what they're telling us? Oh, JJ, no, the 6 o'clock news said the economy is great. There's an amazing recovery. Well, I hope it's a recovery for you. Peace, big love, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hope you're good. Bye for now. See you next time. Peace.